Hey guys, are we live streaming? I hope we're live streaming. I can never tell for sure when I'm in a hotel. Hey guys, it's me, John. I am here in my hotel in Anaheim, California. I'm here for Disney Plus, or I'm here for D23, and I just got out of the Disney Plus presentation. So I need a little help here, though. This is always a confusing thing because I'm in a hotel and I'm using their wonky internet. So I don't know for sure if this is going to work or how long it's going to work for. So my apologies in advance if this doesn't work right or if things go wrong. Hello, everybody. How you doing? Oh my gosh, guys, there's so much to talk about here today. So much to talk about from D23. And I'll tell you what. Oh, good. I'm hearing that the audio and video is fine, which is great because, again, you never know when you go on the road. And like I said, I'm just in my hotel room beside the convention center. Guys, we need to talk about some Disney Plus presentation. Now, tomorrow is the Disney Pictures presentation. That's tomorrow morning. Today was Disney Plus, and it was all about the stuff that's going to be on Disney Plus. So I want to go down through with you guys, first of all the stuff that I saw at Disney Plus. And I'm going to use my Twitter feed. I was tweeting all through the whole thing. I'm going to use my Twitter feed here to talk about what it is we saw. And then I will take your live questions and your live comments. So if you guys got questions and comments, go ahead, use the super chat feature, send it all in. Holy crap, I did tweet a lot, didn't I? I tweeted a hell of a lot. Okay, so let's get things going. First of all, my check-in process was a nightmare. I was supposed to go to a certain place for media check-in. It was not where it was supposed to be. I spent a half an hour wandering around aimlessly. So then I finally did get my media credentials, but then I was supposed to go to another check-in to get my, I tore it off now, but my special reserve seating wristband. It was supposed to be at a place called Box Office C. I talked to at least 15 staff people at the convention center. Nobody knew what Box Office C was or what was. So I spent like another 45 minutes wandering around just trying to find it. Finally got it, got in, sat down. Took me about 80 minutes, but whatever. So I went in and I sat down, and I was already in a bad mood because it's hot outside. I'm walking around, I'm sweating, I'm in a terrible mood, but whatever. So I get in there, I take my seat, and the presentation starts. All right. So the first thing it starts with is they have been pimping High School Musical. Now, we're going to get to She-Hulk and Obi-Wan and Mandalorian and Moon Knight and all that in just a second, but just let me give you some of the other highlights here. They have been pimping High School Musical like crazy. I've been getting so many emails from Disney's PR department just pimping High School Musical. I see High School Musical banners all over the place, and they start out their presentation with a big High School Musical dance number. They bring out the whole cast to this big dance number. To me, I think it looks stupid, but whatever, it's not for me, so that's fine. Again, more and more High School Musical stuff. I don't know if you can see that. Then they started talking about all the catalog of stuff that they would be putting on the network, the old category stuff, and that's all pretty cool. And then they showed a really good sizzle trailer for just Disney Plus, and they handed out these Disney Plus hats to all of us. And the sizzle trailer was really, really good. The sizzle trailer was good. Then they talked about Lizzie McGuire, which I never watched, but I remember Hilary Duff was in it. They're doing a new Lizzie McGuire, but only now Lizzie McGuire is grown up and Hilary Duff is coming back to play her again. Lizzie McGuire is about to turn 30. She lives in New York now, all that kind of stuff. So for those of you who used to watch Lizzie McGuire, that might mean something. For somebody like me, it didn't mean anything, but just thought that sounded interesting for those of you who are interested in that. Let's see. And yes, somebody's asking in the chat, yeah, Phineas and Ferb, they did announce that there's going to be a new Phineas and Ferb coming, so they've got that. They said they don't have enough of the animation or production done yet to show anybody anything, so that's fine. Nothing to show us, but they did announce that they are bringing Phineas and Ferb back. Again, I don't give 2 squirts of urine, but I know some of you guys like that stuff, so I thought I'd let you know. So yes, Phineas and Ferb. Then they talked about High School Musical again. I told you they were pimping this thing like crazy. Anyway, then they started talking about some of the new stuff, and they talked about one of their new series. I know you can't see it that well. Forky Asks a Question. I thought this sounded kind of lame, but then they played us some stuff, and I gotta tell you, it actually looks pretty charming. Or I guess every little episode, Forky asks an important question. They showed us a clip for, what is money? And they brought out Ham, the piggy bank from Toy Story, voiced by John, why am I freezing on John Rathenberg's? Anyway, name again. I think it was him. He normally does the voice of Ham. Anyway, it actually looked pretty charming. So keep your eyes open for Forky asks a question. There is tuning in there. Forky asks a question. Keep your eyes open there. That looks pretty cool. Okay, and then I forgot about this, but they're doing a new Monsters, Inc. series. It's called Monsters at Work. It's about a different set of characters, but Monsters at Work is a series that starts at the very ending of Monsters, Inc. So it's about this new monster who has just graduated Scare Academy and is about to start working at Monster, Inc. as a scare, but at the end of the events of Monsters, Inc., they switch over from harvesting the energy of scares to harvesting the energy of laughter, and now he doesn't know what to do. So it actually looks kind of cute. So that's Monsters at Work. So they talked about that for a bit. Oh, there's a picture of the monster and his mom. I know it's hard to see it on here, but I'm not in my studio, guys. I'm doing the best that I can. Okay. Anyway, then the big stuff started. Kevin Feige came out on stage, and it's like, okay, shit's about to go down. Kevin Feige's hitting the stage, the shit's about to go down, and I'll tell you what, guys, I thought they were just going to talk about the existing shows. They announced 3 brand new shows. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all. So first of all, they talked about What If. And I'll tell you what, guys, this is one I've been ignoring. I could care less about What If. They showed some footage, and they showed a trailer, and they brought out Peggy Carter, and they're like, imagine each of the Marvel movies where something little happens differently and what that then causes. The one example was, what if, when Steve Rogers was about to get infused with a super soldier serum, what if the explosion happened early and Peggy Carter ended up in the machine and she got the super soldier serum and now she's Captain Britain and she's got like the British flag on her shield. It looks really good. Like I was shocked. I was not expecting anything all that great, but it looks really, really good. And I think they should, what if T'Challa was kidnapped by Yondu and became one of the Guardians of the Galaxy? What if, I think it was T'Challa. What if T'Challa became Star-Lord? And it's being narrated from the perspective of a watcher. Anyway, guys, I'm telling you, the animation looks really cool. The concept is really neat. And I was not expecting it, but I'm watching this footage for What If, and I'm like, damn, I'm really getting into this. Anyway, so there's What If. Okay, so what's next here? So they're showing for What If. Oh, and then, of course, it was Loki time. Now, Tom Hiddleston did not come out. He sent in a video message. But they said they're going to ask several questions. The show is going to ask several questions. Where did Loki go after the events of Endgame? Will the sun shine on Loki and his brother again? Just like he said they would in the previous film. And then he sent in a question. Now, what's really interesting is in Tom Hiddleston's video message, he said something, I'm paraphrasing, he said something along the lines of, oh, we haven't reached the end of our journey. Talking about Loki, he said, this is just the beginning. So not only are we getting this Loki series, Tom Hiddleston kind of maybe hinted at the fact that there are a lot of plans for Loki moving forward. So MCU fake deaths, there you go. But apparently there are a lot of plans for Loki moving forward. A 6-episode series to start. They didn't show any footage. They haven't started shooting it yet. But they brought out the writer and the director, and they all seem very excited about it. So it sounds pretty cool. Okay. Then it was Falcon and Winter Soldier time. And they brought out, everybody came out on stage. They brought out all the main cast. They brought out Sebastian Stan, and they brought out the supporting cast as well. And they brought out Sharon Carter. Daniel Bruhl wasn't here, so he didn't come out. But they brought out pretty everything. But basically, they didn't tell us anything we didn't already know. For Winter and Captain Soldier. For for Falcon and Winter and Captain Soldier. For Winter Soldier, Falcon and Winter Soldier, they brought a bunch of the cast, but again, didn't really tell us anything. With Loki, yay, but they didn't really tell us anything. Then they did WandaVision. WandaVision, the neat thing they did about this was they told us something, that I was not expecting. They said WandaVision is going to be half epic Marvel movie. It's a series, but they said it's going to be half epic Marvel movie and half 60s sitcom. And they played clips of old footage of Vision and Wanda, like stuff from the movies that we've seen already. And intercut with old Dick Van Dyke sitcom stuff, right? And they said it's going to be half sitcom. But then the surprises came. Because Paul Bettany, Elizabeth Olsen came out and it was all good. And Elizabeth Olsen actually said the show's going to be wacky fun. And that's not what I was picturing from a WandaVision. I kind of thought there would be a chance here that Wanda would go bad in WandaVision. But anyway, so there's that. The surprises for it came with some of the supporting cast. Kat Dennings, Mew Mew, the girl from Thor and Thor 2, she's back. Only she's not back in Thor. She is back as her character from Thor in WandaVision. So that was a surprise. And another big surprise for casting is Asian Jim, Randall Park, playing his same character from Ant-Man 2. He's going to be there as well. And then one of my favorite actresses in the world, Kathryn Hahn, is going to be the wacky next-door neighbor. Again, this doesn't sound anything like I was expecting from WandaVision. But they all seemed really excited about it. So this sounds like it's something totally different for Marvel. Let's see how this turns out. But again, Kat Dennings and Randall Park and Kathryn Hahn are going to be in WandaVision. So I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, then, then Kevin Feige comes back on stage and guys, we told you about all these shows, but we've got 3 more shows to tell you about. And we're like, 3 more? And sure enough, first off, they start with Moon Knight. And all I could think about is, it's a shame Robert Meyer Burnett isn't here. Because maybe it's a good thing Robert Meyer Burnett isn't here, because he'd probably be pissing his pants. Now, they didn't give us any real details at all, except that it's a guy who's possessed with the power of a moon god. That's about it. They didn't talk about casting. They didn't talk about any of that kind of stuff. It was just very short. Say, one of the shows is Moon Knight, and everybody got all excited. Then, color me shocked, She-Hulk. Now, She-Hulk is something that I've thought for a while that because She-Hulk is a derivative character of Hulk and Hulk's distribution rights are tied up with Universal, I didn't even think they could do a She-Hulk. And I'll be honest, I've never been excited about the idea of a She-Hulk movie or show, to be honest with you. So I was shocked, absolutely shocked, when they said She-Hulk. And they, again, no casting, no information, nothing, none of that stuff. Just putting up a logo, She-Hulk is coming. So it's like, holy crap. And then, probably one of the more interesting ones is Kamala Khan, I believe is the character's name, Ms. Marvel. Not to be confused with Captain Marvel, Ms. Marvel. And we heard some rumblings that Disney Plus may be doing a Ms. Marvel thing. But that was never verified, or it hasn't really come up in a while. But then Kevin Feige today confirmed it. So, coming from Marvel in the MCU on Disney Plus, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel. And again, Ms. Marvel, I should say. Again, no casting, none of that kind of stuff was announced, just the basic titles, and there you have it. And I know you can't see it very well, but now the full Phase 4 timeline was revealed, at least for Disney Plus. So now for Disney Plus coming, the Marvel stuff coming to Disney Plus, Falcon and Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki, What If, Hawkeye. They didn't do any Hawkeye presentation. Ms. Marvel, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk. That's a lot of stuff that they're doing over there. So anyway, that was the Marvel stuff. They saved the Star Wars stuff for last. There's a couple other little things they talked about. One thing that really sounds good to me is the world according, let's see if I can get that in focus, the world according to Jeff Goldblum. The World According to Jeff Goldblum, which I think, you know what, at first when they said it, I'm like, what? What's this? And it's basically a docu-series where he kind of travels around and explores things that he finds interesting. Like one thing is shoes, and another thing is how they make ice cream, and then one is synchronized swimming. And at first I'm like, what is this? And then I really started to get into it. And of course, they brought out Jeff Goldblum on stage to talk about it, and everybody loves Jeff Goldblum. So that looks kind of interesting too. I'm not going to cover everything they talk about, because some stuff I think they talked about an original movie called Stargirl that's based on a novel, whatever. This was interesting. We heard about this movie coming called Noelle, which has got, I always forget the girl's name, but you got Bill Hader's in the two. It's a story about Santa's daughter. Okay? Stories about Santa's daughter. I heard them talking about this before, and I thought, pass. Billy Eichner's in it too. And then they showed the trailer for Noelle, and they brought the cast out too. And I gotta say, I'm surprised. It looked pretty damn funny. I had no interest in this movie when they first talked about it, but I watched the trailer, and the trailer looked pretty damn funny. I gotta give them kudos for that. It looked pretty funny. Then I got kind of excited. They've got a new Muppet series coming. It's like a bunch of shorts they're going to be doing. They did a little preview thing for it, which is it wasn't really a trailer. It wasn't from footage from the show, because they're just starting production on it. But it was exciting to see that we got more Muppets coming, so that was kind of cool. Then they've got this new show with, what's the girl's name from Jane the Virgin? I keep forgetting her name. She's great too. Like, she's really talented and she's super beautiful. But anyway, she's got a new series coming called Diary of a Female President. I'll be honest with you, they showed the trailer, didn't do anything for me, but I don't think I'm the target audience anyway, so there's that. Let's see here. Then came Star Wars time. Okay. And there was a few other things too, a couple other little things that I'm sure you can read about elsewhere. Then it was Star Wars time. And it was Anna Kendrick, by the way. It was Anna Kendrick. Then it was Star Wars time. So, Kathleen Kennedy came out on stage, and once they announced her, I'm like, okay, what's the audience reaction going to be like to Kathleen Kennedy? But it was big applause, big cheers for Kathleen Kennedy. So she comes out, and they talked about a few things. The first thing she said is this: make no mistake about it, our Star Wars shows on Disney Plus are going to be every bit of the production value of our theatrical films. So, which we kind of maybe suspected they would, but it's nice to hear that that's what they're going for. And so, the first thing she talked about was a little bit about Clone Wars. They didn't have any footage to show, but she said the new Clone Wars series that she's bringing back begins to air, debuts in February. So that's when it comes. So it's still about another 6 or 7 or 8 months off, but it debuts in February. That's when it comes. Then it came time for the Cassian Andor show. And it's both Cassian and K2SO, which is kind of cool. Alan Tudyk came on stage with them, Diego Luna and Alan Tudyk said, now they're saying they don't officially have a title for the Cassian Andor show yet. They're saying it's a spy thriller show, which sounds pretty interesting. So it's a spy thriller show, and they have no title for it yet, but Alan Tudyk suggested, because he was on stage there with Diego Luna, Alan Tudyk suggested the title K2 Fast, K2 Furious, which I thought was kind of funny. Anyway, after that, it was Mandalorian time. They brought out John Favreau, came out, and Dave Filoni came out with them. Interesting thing, John Favreau tells the story about how, when he was working on Iron Man at Skywalker Ranch doing the sound at Skywalker Ranch, that's when they were working on some Clone Wars stuff, and that's when he and Dave Filoni met. But anyway, John Favreau was talking about how he went in to meet with Kathleen Kennedy to pitch the idea of The Mandalorian. And he pitched the idea to Kathleen Kennedy, as he tells the story, and she said to him, this sounds like it can work, but you know who you should really work with on this? I'm going to put you together with Dave Filoni. So she goes, have you ever met Dave Filoni? He's like, yeah, I did. I've known Dave Filoni. We've met. I really like Dave. So she put John Favreau and Dave Filoni together. And that's how this kind of all came about. Is Favreau pitched it. Kennedy thought this would be good for him and Filoni to work on together. Now, John Favreau wrote most of it, and he is the showrunner. But Filoni contributed. He wrote one of the scripts, and he's directing 2 of the episodes. And so Filoni and John Favreau were on stage together talking about it. And then they played the trailer. Now, it's a first teaser trailer. So it really doesn't tell us much, but it gives you a sense of what it will look and what it will feel like. And it looks and feels like everything I wanted Mandalorian to be. It looks and feels like everything I wanted Mandalorian to be. John Favreau talks about how, imagine the galaxy right after the fall of the Empire. The galaxy is lawless now. It's going to take the New Republic a while to establish infrastructure and all that kind of stuff. It's the Wild West. He said, so John Favreau explained that I envisioned a world of like that the samurai lived in, that of the Old West, where communities trying to build safe places for themselves and gunslingers and all this kind of stuff. And within that world is this bounty hunter, the gunfighter, the Mandalorian. And they played the trailer for it. Giancarlo Esposito came out, Carl Weathers came out, the whole cast came out. And it was just great. The trailer was wonderful. It might be online now, for all I know. If it's not online now, I'm sure they'll put it online very, very shortly. But I thought the trailer looked great. Again, just a teaser, but giving us that sense of what it's going to feel like felt great. It felt great. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it looked great. I thought it looked wonderful. Can't wait to see what they do with this thing. I really can't wait to see what they do with this thing. Okay. Anyway, so they do all that, and you figure they're done. Didn't feel like anything else was coming. Oh, I guess they're not going to do an Obi-Wan thing. Well, then as they're about to walk off, John Favreau says, oh, by the way, guys, there is one more announcement. And to make that announcement, we're going to bring Kathleen Kennedy back out. So Kathleen Kennedy comes back out, and she goes, we've been working on something for a while, and now we can put away all the denials and all the fibbing and all the secrecy. And she brings out Ewan McGregor, and they make it official. Obi-Wan, the series, is coming. And they'd had a great exchange, because as they're on stage, Ewan McGregor goes, Kathy. And Kathleen Kennedy goes, yes, Ewan? He said, ask me if I'm playing Obi-Wan again. And everybody cheers, right? So Kathleen Kennedy waits for the cheering to go down, and she goes, Ewan? He says, yes, Kathy? Are you going to play Obi-Wan again? And he does this dramatic pause and looks towards the audience. Yes. And the whole audience goes crazy. Obi-Wan is coming back, which is great, and it was awesome. It was really cool too seeing John Favreau on stage, who is so intricately involved with Marvel and so intricately involved with Star Wars, and seeing his excitement for it too. But you just should have heard the audience when they did that. Ask me if I'm playing Obi-Wan again. Are you playing Obi-Wan again? Yes. And the place goes crazy. I thought it was very appropriate that they saved that till last. They saved that as the last thing, ended on a high note. It was about 2 hours long. It was longer than I thought it would be. And everything went like that. I mean, they talked about WandaVision for 2 minutes. They talked about, Loki for 2 minutes. Everything. They just moved everything through really, really fast. It was a long presentation. They had a lot of stuff to cover. And it was a really good presentation, which is great because I'm going to be honest with you, I was kind of regretting that I was even here. I was kind of regretting that I even came because of all that nonsense I went through trying to get my seat. And then the first 3 things they were presenting, I'm like, this High School Musical thing that they're pimping so hard just looks bad to me. And then this other thing doesn't look interesting. And woo, Lizzie McGuire. No offense to anybody who's really looking forward to Lizzie McGuire. But I'm sitting there like, who cares? And I'm like, I really came out to Anaheim and booked a hotel for this? But then some of the stuff started to surprise me. And I got to tell you, I actually really enjoyed it. And I thought it was really, really good. Had a really good time. Okay. Now, guys, we're going to spend the next little bit here, and I'm going to take live questions from you guys. You guys have been firing in live questions and comments, so let's spend the rest of our time here just going over that stuff, and hopefully this is all still working here. But we're going to start things off with Curtis Lopez, who writes in, I'm going to eat up the Jeff Goldblum show. I'm telling you what, at first I'm like, what is this? But after I saw the footage and I started to grasp what it was they were really going for in the show, I'm in. I'm on board. It feels a little bit like, what was the Anthony Bourdain show? But that was just about food. It felt a little bit like a new kind of Anthony Bourdain show. And I mean that in all the best way, except with Jeff Goldblum, which looked really good. Curtis also writes, has someone called an ambulance to get Robert Meyer Burnett after the Moon Knight announcement? I'm telling you, that caught me by surprise. And all I could think about sitting there was, damn, it's a shame that Robert's not here. It is a shame that Robert's not here. It was really, really too bad. But yep, I hope somebody checks in on Robert to make sure he's okay. Because that was clearly for him. Curtis also writes, Anna Kendrick's Noel doesn't look good, but I'll watch it anyway because I'm a sucker for Christmas movies. Hey, listen, again, you guys remember, like, when the news first came out about this a while ago, I said, ugh, really? Is this what Anna Kendrick is reduced to now? But I gotta tell you, I mean, it looked funny. The dude who did the voice of Timon and Billy Eichner and Bill Hader, they look really funny in this. And they played the trailer, and I gotta say, I'm not gonna say I'm super excited for it, but I'm way more on board for it than I was before the trailer. I'll at least say that. Let's see. Curtis Lopez also writes, Mandalorian trailer and Obi-Wan confirmed. I mean, what else can you ask for? If they showed nothing else at a D23 or at the Disney Plus presentation, it still would have been worth it. Mandalorian trailer, Obi-Wan confirmation, not to mention all the Marvel stuff they did and some of the other things that I wasn't looking forward to that actually looks pretty good. It was a good presentation. It didn't start off well for me, but by the end of it, I thought it was a pretty damn good presentation. All right, Curtis Lopez writes, my sister is excited for Lizzie McGuire coming back. You know, I'm writing on Twitter, Lizzie McGuire, who cares? And I got all these people, how dare you, sir? Like get really upset at me for, because okay, I'm no more. Time out. I will not diss on Lizzie McGuire. I'm clearly not the target audience, so that's fine. But I was shocked to see how many, the audience got real damn excited for that Lizzie McGuire stuff, I'll tell you. All right, Amit Suresh writes, all I can say, holy crap, can't wait for Moon Knight. I mean, She-Hulk surprised me. Ms. Marvel, little bit surprised. Ms. Marvel, I should say, little bit surprised me. I was really surprised by Moon Knight. I honestly thought, wrongfully apparently, that we were still a ways off from a Moon Knight either movie or TV series. I thought we were a ways off. But here we are. Moon Knight's happening. And I know Robert Meyer Burnett is going to be awfully, awfully happy. Okay, J Meister25 writes, I got an Iron Man One in the Desert vibe from Mandalorian trailer, and that is extremely high praise that I can. So I'm guessing the Mandalorian trailer is now online. It must be. That's extremely high praise I can give. I'm very excited for Disney Plus. I'll tell you what. I've been excited for what Disney Plus is going to be. Because, you know, they're not launching day one with everything, right? So I've been excited for what it's going to be. But I gotta tell you, I'm actually now really excited for November 12th. I am going to be a day one adopter for this thing. And they're launching with some good stuff. They got a lot of great plans. This presentation, look, their job with this presentation was to sell us on this. Mission accomplished. They sold me. They really, really did. Okay, Nate Piazantino, right? Oh, Disney, I can't stay mad at you. Moon Knight, I know. And you know, I came here, I'm not lying, I came to D23 half expecting to find the mouse Gestapo, you know, a bunch of security guards with big mouse ears waiting to prevent me from entering with the way I've been bashing on Disney because of the criminal way they've been handling the Spider-Man situation. But I'm not changing my mind on that. They've been horribly handling the Spider-Man situation. But I was half expecting them to not let me in, but they did. And you're right; it's hard to stay mad at them too long when they do some really, really good stuff. And they did a very good presentation. They did a very, very good presentation. I gotta say, I'm pretty excited. All right, Fakyu Ikari writes, never been that big of a fan of Star Wars, but that Mandalorian trailer looks awesome. Again, it's delivering on what we were hoping it would be, that old Western gunfighter kind of feel, and they did it. I mean, just starting with like the discarded stormtrooper helmets and the dustiness and it just had a great feel to it. Now again, it's just a trailer. This thing may suck. Like for all we know, Mandalorian may be absolutely terrible, right? It's possible. It could absolutely suck. But, you know, I gotta say right now, it's looking pretty damn good. Adam Douglas writes, I wouldn't expect Moon Knight to be as dark as the comics. This surely won't be R-rated, landing on the family-friendly Disney Channel, Disney Plus. Hope fans are okay with PG-13. Here's one of the things and I'm glad you brought that up, Adam, because one of the things I really should emphasize here is one of the big impressions I got coming out of the Disney Plus presentation is this really is a family-friendly channel. From everything, they're talking about this, encore show, and there's a lot of song and dance music stuff, getting back to the Disney roots. And as much as I'm crapping on this High School Musical thing and how much they're pimping it, it is really to Disney's roots and Disney's core identity. And, highlighting all the kids in the new High School Musical and the dancing. You really do get that feeling. It is a family-friendly thing. I got a feeling the most edgy thing they're going to have is probably Mandalorian. Mandalorian's probably going to be the most edgy thing they've got. But yeah, it really did emphasize that. So yes, absolutely. If this is on Disney Plus, don't expect Moon Knight to be anything kind of rated R. It's an excellent observation, Adam. Samuel C137 writes, is it crazy that I don't really care about the other Marvel shows now? Give me Kamala Khan, give me Moon Knight. I mean, it is exciting. And listen, one of the things I talked about after Endgame, particularly at my Comic-Con panel, where it was about after Endgame, one of the things I said that Marvel and the comic book genre as a whole really needs to do is continue to diversify. And by diversify, I don't just mean give more roles to women, give more roles to minority characters. That's part of it. But diversify in the kinds of stories you tell. And, with She-Hulk and Ms. Marvel and Moon Knight, that is diversifying your storytelling. And kudos to them, because I'll tell you what, I wouldn't, if you told me they were going to launch 3 new shows, because there was some talk about Ms. Marvel, I might have gone there, but it probably wouldn't have been Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Ms. Marvel. That probably wouldn't have been the combination I came up with. So kudos to them for really diversifying things, not just diversity as in the gender or whatever, the characters, but also the kind of characters they're doing, the kind of stories they're going to tell. Because they're going to have to diversify and keep things interesting and fresh and new. And with this new lineup, I got to tell you, they're doing it. The new Disney Plus lineup is a good mix of the established and the brand new. Because, we got Falcon Winter Soldier, WandaVision, Loki. But also now, we've got She-Hulk and Moon Knight and Ms. Marvel. And, they're mixing it up, and it seems to be like a good strategy, man. All right, Samuel C137 also writes, as someone who's never really loved the Disney Star Wars stuff, with the exception of The Last Jedi, Mandalorian looks like it could make me love Star Wars again. Mandalorian very much feels very Star. This is one of the things that Dave Filoni said. Dave Filoni came out and said, this show feels like Star Wars. And I like hearing that because that's what got me into Rebels the first time. I watched the first episode of Rebels. And I remember getting on social media and doing a review and saying, it's the first time, because Clone Wars never felt like Star Wars to me. And I know a lot of people love Clone Wars, and all due respect, it never did work for me. I was never a fan of Clone Wars. It never felt like Star Wars to me. But then I watched that first episode of Rebels, and it's not the greatest first episode, but I just remember, but it feels like Star Wars, And to have Dave Filoni, who did both Clone Wars and Rebels, to come out and talk about Mandalorian and say, this really does feel like the universe of Star Wars, that's good to hear. It's really good to hear. All right, Samuel C137 also writes, Disney's content strategy is interesting here. They must know that every parent in America will sign up for D+ for the back catalog. I know people who need this yesterday, a sustainable base. Most of their money seems to be going towards attracting nerds like us to just build on top of that guaranteed audience. And you know what, Samuel, I'm glad you mentioned that, because to your point, one of the points that they decided to make during this thing was that to really emphasize the entire classic Disney catalog, including everything that's in the vault, is going to be on Disney+. And they made a big deal about that. And also, I also forgot to mention this. I'll get into your point about the family-friendly nature of it. They did a lot about Lady and the Tramp. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not all that interested in Lady and the Tramp, but the trailer was very cute. The trailer was quite cute. I'm still not all that interested in Lady and the Tramp personally, but I will give it its due. The trailer was awfully cute. And the dogs are adorable, and I'm a dog guy, so you guys know that. Anyway, but you're right. It does feel like that strategy. They're going to get all the families with that catalog and then attract the new audience with the original stuff. And if they are able to execute that well, Disney Plus is going to be something kind of unstoppable. Ryan Lohner writes, after 47 years living here, I decided to move to Orlando to be closer to Disney World. Werner Herzog, Parks and Recreation. Wait a second. Was Werner... Why don't I remember... I love Parks and Recreation. Was Werner Herzog on an episode of Parks and Recreation? No, I can't remember. Crap. I decided to move to Orlando to be closer to Disney World. Well, Werner Herzog's in the Disney World now because he's in Mandalorian, and he's featured in the trailer if you haven't watched it yet. Josh Bing writes, seeing the crowd go crazy for Ewan made me smile so big. Super hyped for Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk 2. I'm here for it as it's different than what we've seen before in the MCU, and these characters are great. See, again, Josh, it goes right back to what I was saying before, right? As far as the Marvel part of the strategy goes, they have really nailed down, we are diversifying our storytelling. Moon Knight is like nothing like anything they've told before. She-Hulk is going to be completely different from anything they've told before. And Ms. Mara going to Kamala Khan, I think is a really cool idea. My wife loves that comic series, by the way. My wife is totally into Ms. Marvel. So they're diversifying the types of characters, they're diversifying the types of stories, they're mixing it up and keeping it fresh, a good balance of the established with the new. It's a really, really good thing, and you're right. When they announced Ewan McGregor, it was the biggest pop. It was the biggest pop. The only thing that would have been a bigger pop is Tom Hiddleston, because Kevin Feige's on stage, right? And he's like, and to talk to us a little bit about the new Loki series, I'm going to bring out, and you could feel it. Everybody's about to explode because they thought he was going to say Tom Hiddleston. He said, the writer of, and then as soon as he said the writer of, you heard, oh. And Kevin Feige's like, no, they're really cool. They're really cool. They just all thought it was going to, but the Ewan McGregor announcement and bringing him out got the biggest pop until they did that whole little thing, which, guys, I hope they put this online. Because the moment when Ewan goes, Kathy, ask me if I'm going to play Obi-Wan again. Ewan? Yes, Kathy. You going to play Obi-Wan again? Yes. It just, the place went nuts. And I felt myself getting, I don't know why, but I felt myself getting emotional at that, right? Me, who I wasn't even interested a few years ago in an Obi-Wan show, then you guys talked me into being interested in it, in either an Obi-Wan movie or an Obi-Wan show, and now here we are. Here we are, and it's coming, and it's on its way, and it's incredible. It's incredible. It was such a great reaction in there. All right, Isaac Beebe writes, well, this was a lot of awesome information to wake up to. As Palpatine would say, a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one. Yeah, and listen, because when they started, even when Kevin Feige started the Marvel part of it, it wasn't any new information. It's like, yay, bringing out the guys from Falcon and Winter Soldier, cool. Yay, bringing out so-and-so, cool, but they weren't telling us anything. Like, they weren't giving us anything new, no new information. And I started to get worried about tomorrow for the Disney Pictures presentation, you know, with all the movie stuff. I'm like, is this what tomorrow's going to be? Like, just rehashing everything we already know and not telling us anything new? And then the new stuff started to come. Kat Dennings is back. Randall Park is going to be in it. The WandaVision is actually going to be part sitcom. And then this stuff with Star Wars, and then highlighting, of course, with Cassian Andor. So this has actually given me a lot of excitement for tomorrow. It's like, what are they going to give us tomorrow? What are they going to give us tomorrow at the Disney Pictures thing? And I'm very, very excited. That panel, when is it tomorrow? I think it's at like 10 a.m.? I think it's at 10 a.m. I can't remember. Ben Rayner writes, are Disney heroes again? Oh, no, look, here's the thing, and I said this before. Disney's still Disney. Like, you can love something and acknowledge when they do something stupid. What really pisses me off, fake fandom, here's what fake fandom is. Fake fandom is, I love it so much that I will never acknowledge anything wrong with it. That's not real fandom. Real fandom is fandom that acknowledges, and you care more about it when the thing you're a fan of is screwing up. Sports fans get this. Sports fans will live and die by their team, but they'll also be the first ones to call out their team when they're doing something stupid. But calling them out and acknowledging... See, fake fans think that if you criticize something that you're a fan of, that means you're not really a fan of it. That's fake. That is weak. And right now the world is filled with a lot of weak fandom. Real fandom is fandom that loves something and is completely aware and will point out its flaws and loves that whole thing anyway, despite its flaws. Look, I'm a Disney fan. I don't hide that. I'm a Disney fan. But that doesn't mean I won't call out Disney on their bullshit when they pull some bullshit. And once in a while they do. That doesn't mean I'm not still a fan of Disney. I am. But I'm not going to stick my head in the sand and pretend that they don't pull some crap. And this whole way they've botched the Spider-Man thing is a lot of crap. But that doesn't mean I still don't love and respect everything else they've done. So I didn't know if Disney would feel that way about it. I was half expecting them to not let me into the place with the way I've been bashing them the last few days. But it's hard not to be excited. It doesn't take away all this good stuff, doesn't cancel the fact that they have pulled some BS in the last few days with this whole Spider-Man thing. Hopefully that gets cleared up tomorrow. But yeah, it was good stuff today. It was good stuff. Dim-Sum05 writes, I wish you could have live streamed Robert Meyer Burnett's pants when they announced Moon Knight. I will disagree with you there, Dim Sum. I am very, very happy that such a live stream does not exist. I just think that's something none of us need to see. I just don't think it's either going to get wet or it's going to get stiff. And either way, that's not something I need to look at. Just being clear, not something any of us need to look at. All right, Just Plain Steve writes, ready for some She-Hulk. If they stick to her comic origins, maybe we'll get Ruffalo for an episode or two. That would be amazing. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do it with She-Hulk, because if I remember correctly, I think Feige did say that she's going to be a lawyer. So I think he said that. So it's going to be interesting to see how close they stick to it. It's a character, look, they don't really need to stick too much to the comic material because not a lot of people are very familiar with She-Hulk and anything about her. They've heard the name She-Hulk, but they really don't know much about her. So it'll be interesting to see Just Plain Steve which way they go with that. But I know a lot of people are very excited about this. All right, Doshi writes, all the haters back on the Star Wars train now. Well, I mean, look, fandom is a fickle thing, but it was pretty exciting to see. Moose Wizard writes, that Mandalorian trailer raises my excitement level for it tenfold. Again, it is just a first trailer, and it is just, teaser stuff. But they established the tone and the feel of it. And I was really hoping to come away with it with a feel of that old samurai sort of movie, the Wandering Ronin samurai kind of movie. The whole lone gunslinger Western kind of feel. A little bit of Unforgiven, Star Wars mixed with Unforgiven. That's what the feel I was hoping to get. And I'll tell you what, they give it. That's the feel we get. That's totally the feel we get, and I loved it. Let's see. Anthony DeRizzo writes, any truth to the rumor that Kit Harington is going to play Moon Knight? Impossible. Ignore any rumors. You want to know a great example of this? Here's the thing. This is why I'm always telling people, ignore these, unless a story is coming out of a really reputable place, like The Hollywood Reporter, or Variety, or Deadline, or a few others, some really reliable ones, like a Coming Soon, or a Cinema Blend, or something like that. Really don't spread information around that you read on one of these other orbital BS sites. Here's just before the panel started, and you can't see it here, but it's going to be hard to see, but here's a great example, okay? This is a great example. MCU Direct, which is one of these sites, puts out a story called "The Taika Waititi Written Script for Thor: Love and Thunder is now complete." Right? That's the story. Taika Waititi retweeted that with his own comment that says, "Oh, that's cool. I never cease to surprise myself because I've got the title page completed." It's just a good example of, guys, be very careful about where you take these rumors from. Look very closely at what is the site originating this rumor. Now, that's not to say, don't misinterpret me and don't misquote me. That's not to say a smaller outlet or a smaller channel or a fringe network or whatever can't actually be the ones to find something out. Of course you can. Of course that can happen. It absolutely does. Hell, I'm as small as they get. I was the first one to tell you that Ben Affleck wasn't going to be Batman. So, I mean, it can happen, but what I'm saying is, when something significant, like Kit Harington's going to be Moon Knight, or Taika Waititi's script is now done, or, you know, the Sony Spider-Man deal, here's all the details, it's already been done, and here's all the details, or whatever, I would say don't spread it around unless it comes from a pretty reliable place. And again, this was just perfect that this came out right as the panel was about to start. And yeah, so as far as the Kit Harington thing goes, I think if they had cast Kit Harington, they would have told us today that Kit Harington was going to be it. I mean, it's not to say that it's impossible. It's not impossible. It is possible, but I don't see how that would be real at this point. Terry Giordano writes, heard $23 discount for signing up for Disney Plus for 3 years. Yeah, so apparently for those of us who are here at D23, we can sign up right now and get $23 off per year for 3 years. So it ends up being like, I don't know, 15% cheaper or something like that. I think I'll probably do it. I'll probably sign up for it, get that lower rate, right? It's not a lot. It's not saving you a ton, but it is saving you a little bit of money. And who am I kidding? I'm going to be signing up for Disney Plus, so I might as well sign up for it while I'm here. Monkey of all DJs, I like that name, writes, CRTC sucks. This channel is going to be CRTC sucks. This channel is going to be on cable on all Disney channels, Disney XDD and whatnot. I gotta be honest with you, Monkey, I don't know what it is you're saying. CRTC sucks. I don't know what CRTC is. This channel is going to be on cable on all Disney channels. Disney XDD and whatnot. I don't know what it is you're asking. I'm sorry about that, Monkey. You took the time, you sent it in, and I'm sorry, maybe my brain scrambled. I'm not able to put together what it is you're asking. So sorry about that. Let's see. Next up, Baxter Kirkdoffer writes, Rob is shitting his pants over Moon Knight. Yep. I'm very much looking forward to the John Campea Show on Monday, where I know me and Rob are going to be able to sit down, and Chris too, to really expand on this. By the way, I'm going to have Chris Carr come in here with me tomorrow. So after the Disney presentation tomorrow, we're going to do another live stream, and I'm going to have Chris Carr here with me. She couldn't be here today, unfortunately, but she'll be here tomorrow, and here in Anaheim. And we're going to be right here doing another live stream about this, just so you know. But I'm sure Rob is crapping his pants on this. RA's Reviews writes, John, I blew loads from the Mandalorian trailer. It was so good. It was so good. Now, again, I don't want to overstate it. It was just a teaser, right? But what I was because of what I was specifically looking for, which was tone and feel. I was looking for the tone and the feel for this teaser. And they gave it in spades, and now I'm just really psyched about whenever the next trailer is going to come. It's only about 80 days away. Mandalorian is only 80 days away, so you know we're going to get another trailer up here pretty soon. Let's see. Suthius writes, can we assume that we will definitely see She-Hulk, Moon Knight, and Ms. Marvel in the future phases on the big screen? Looking forward to Moon Knight. I don't know. I don't know that we can assume that. There's only so much room. Look, if you're putting them in their own shows, I mean, they're in the MCU proper, but would you put them? It feels to me like you're saving now the movies for other characters. So is it possible? Absolutely. Would I say we can assume that those characters are going to appear on the big screen? They can. They're in the same MCU, so they totally can. But I'm not going to assume that. I'm at the point right now that I'm not going to assume it, but it's totally feasible. Absolutely feasible. Jacob Hirsch writes, but John, High School Musical, the series, not going to lie, it looks really good. Again, look, I confess, I am not the target audience, all right? I'm not the target audience. This much is very clear, that I am not the target audience for High School Musical, the series, which is what it's actually called. It's called High School Musical, the series. And if you're into that sort of stuff, I'm guessing people who are into, what was that one, Glee? I'm guessing this is going to be a show for people who were into High School Musical and who were into Glee. I am neither of those people, so it's not for me. But if you are somebody who is into Glee or High School Musical, and there are a lot of people like that, I'm sure for you it's going to look pretty awesome. And I'm happy. I'm happy for you. It's not for me, but I'm happy for the rest of you guys that are looking forward to this. Okay, S. Beam writes, dude, so excited for Star Wars / Marvel lineup. I'm telling you what, between Mandalorian, the Cassian Andor show, and now Obi-Wan, and I know a lot of people are excited about Clone Wars coming back as well. I'm not really, but whatever. Plus all these new shows, it's a lot to be excited about here. There's a lot to be excited about. Now, fortunately for me, I'm somebody who am both a Marvel and a Star Wars fan. And yeah, man, lots to be excited about, dude. Raymond Verrata writes, Marvel can create a new Avengers movie from their Disney Plus properties. Falcon, Winter Soldier, Wanda, Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel. Oh, yeah. They are not going to be hurting. Here's the thing, Raymond. They are not going to be hurting for putting a lineup together. They are not going to have any problems figuring out how to get enough people together to form some kind of team. And you know what? I've said for a long time, Marvel's not going to pull other teams. Like, they're not going to do West Coast Avengers and whatever. They're not going to pull sub-teams. I don't know about that now. You know, I might have to rethink that because they are introducing a lot of characters. A lot of characters. And look, let's be honest. Marvel's got a little bit of a fight ahead of them. They have lost their two best characters. Now, I believe Chris Evans as Captain America and Tony Stark being played by Robert Downey Jr., I do believe they'll be back at some point. Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, maybe not even in 3 years, but I believe they'll both be back. That said, as of right now, they've lost their two most important and best characters in Captain America and Iron Man. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go. On top of that, other OG Avengers. You know, you're talking about they've neutered the Hulk, so I'm not really interested in Hulk anymore. Black Widow's dead. Hawkeye is transitioning out with his Hawkeye series, so they've got a challenge ahead of themselves. They do. Big high note with Endgame, but let's not pretend they don't have a challenge in front of them. They do. But I'm telling you what, you start off like this. It's a good way to face that challenge. Suthius writes, set production for Mandalorian looks really good. It does. Like I said, Kathleen Kennedy comes out and says, we are putting everything into these shows that we put into the movies. And then as soon as they started playing that Mandalorian trailer, I'm like, yep, they certainly are. They certainly are. Look great. Suthius also writes, so the MCU shows seem to have different genres too. Yeah, that's what I was saying before, right? Like, not only are they diversifying as in, you know, what you normally think of when you think diversity, like female characters, minority characters, that kind of stuff, but they're also diversifying in the types of stories they're telling. And that is key. And it really does feel like they're mixing things up, which is really good. But not while giving up on their core stuff. Like, it's a mixture of the established stuff with the new stuff, and it's a really good, I think it's going to be a formula that works for them. Haskell 420 writes, hey John, I saw people tweet out that Miss Marvel will be in the TV series and in the movies. Did Feige say the same for Moon Knight and She-Hulk as well? I'll tell you what, look, I could be wrong. I do not recall Kevin Feige making any sort of confirmation that she will be in the TV show and in the movies. Now, again, I mean, it's very easy for them to do that. This is not the Netflix series, right? This isn't Daredevil and Luke Cage, something that Kevin Feige always kept away from his MCU. This is different. So these are characters that could very easily transition in and out of the movies and the TVs. They very easily could. I'm not assuming it. All I can say is, I don't recall, and maybe I just missed it, but I do not recall Kevin Feige saying or confirming that Ms. Marvel will be popping in and out of the movies as well. She very well could. It's because, again, this isn't the Netflix stuff. This is Disney Plus, so they can very easily move that stuff in and out. So we'll just see what happens. Let's see. Ben Rayner writes, love the Noelle trailer. Anna Kendrick looks fun. I got to tell you, I had no interest in that Noelle movie. When they announced it a while ago, I mean, I was a little interested because Anna Kendrick. I really like Anna Kendrick. But I had very little interest in that movie. And then the trailer's like, you know what, this is charming. It is, and it's funny. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out. Victor Edboom writes, super excited for The Mandalorian, but as Swede, there's no way I'm waiting half a year until they release these streaming services here. Well, you know, hold out to that, Victor, because I don't know this for sure. But what I think is probably going to happen, and again, don't quote me on this because I could be totally wrong about this, is that like CBS All Access isn't in a lot of countries, so they take Star Trek Discovery and put it on other streaming services in other countries. I suspect, and I don't know this, so don't take this to the bank, but I suspect that Disney Plus, if it's not planning on being in a certain country for at least a year or so, they may very well license out The Mandalorian for a year to, say, Netflix in your country or another streaming service in that country. I don't know that for sure. I'm just taking a guess. But I have a feeling you won't have to wait for a year and a half to watch The Mandalorian. I think they'll find a way for people to watch it if they want to watch it. Joshua Nickel writes, Jeff Goldblum's show looks good. It does. At first I was like, what is this? But then I was like, okay, yeah, I think I want to watch this now. I'm intrigued. Color me intrigued. All right. RTD Slayer writes, Obi-Wan better say hello in the show. Well, hello there. I mean, yes, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he will. Ewan, are you playing Obi-Wan Kenobi? Yes. Oh my God, it was such a great moment. I wish I was filming it. Because it was a marvelous, marvelous moment. S. Beam writes, a Mandalorian trailer was awesome and made it look very enticing, and so glad the Obi-Wan rumors turned out to be true. That's the one I was hoping for to get from D23. Yeah, and I think a lot of us were thinking that they were going there. Now, I was kind of expecting we might hear Obi-Wan at the end, but then it didn't feel like they were doing it. And it felt like they were wrapping up with Mandalorian. They showed the trailer, and and then they finished it, and it felt like it was done. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess there's no Obi-Wan. And then Jon Favreau, but there's one more announcement. I'm going to bring out Kathleen Kennedy for that. I'm like, oh yeah, it's going to be Obi-Wan. And she came out and then introduced Ewan McGregor, and the place explodes. And yeah, a lot of very happy people, man. Kyle Mikesell, I think. I like how they aren't releasing everything day one. Well, I mean, yeah. First of all, I do wish they were launching with a little bit more. Now, they're launching with Lady and the Tramp, some catalog stuff, Mandalorian, and I think one or two other things. I do kind of wish they were launching with a bit more, but you certainly wouldn't want to just launch and drop 18 different new shows and all that kind of stuff. That wouldn't help anybody. But I'm glad they're not launching with too much, but I do think they should launch with a little bit more than they are. Maybe just a little bit more than they are. We'll see how it all works out. Ben Rayner writes, Lady and the Tramp movie looks cute. Yeah, I gotta say it looks cute. The trailer was cute. It was. Again, I'm not terribly interested in it, but I do gotta say it was an adorable, charming little trailer. It really was. Okay. Marie Seifring writes, any new info about Black Widow movie? Well, remember, today was the Disney Plus panel. There was the Disney Plus presentation, not the Disney Studios presentation or the movie studio presentation. That presentation talking about the movies happens tomorrow morning. So I'm going to go to that panel tomorrow morning, And then we will do this again. We will do another live stream tomorrow, breaking down and talking all about the panel that we see tomorrow. So no, because Black Widow isn't a streaming Disney Plus thing, it's a theatrical movie, if they are going to talk about that, they're going to talk about it tomorrow, not today. So no new information yet. Hang on till tomorrow. All right, Suthius writes, Marvel goes for talent. Moon Knight has a Jewish background. For the hell of it, I looked up Academy actors that could fit. James Franco, Adrian Brody, Andrew Garfield, Zachary Levi are some that pop up, or somebody we've never heard of. You know me, X actor, X role. As long as it's somebody that's talented, then I'm all on board. So I'd be totally down for any of those names. I'm particularly attracted to that Andrew Garfield name. Don't expect to see Zach Levi as he's actively playing Shazam right now. So I wouldn't expect to see Zachary Levi. But I like all those guys. I like James Franco. I don't think they'll go James Franco. Adrian Brody would be a good one. Andrew Garfield would be great. I'm particularly attracted to that name, but it could be anybody. It could be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. We'll keep our eyes open for it, though. But all I'll say, if any of those names were announced, I'd be totally happy. There's probably a good 20, 25 names that you could list that I'd be totally happy with, but those all certainly fit. Marie Seifring writes, tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow. Tomorrow, the Black Widow day. I'm thinking now I've got Les Mis in my hand. One day more. Tomorrow is another day. Tomorrow. I don't know why I started singing Les Mis. I don't know. We'll find what God in heaven has in store. Why am I singing Les Mis? I don't know. The bearded one writes, do you think they'll say anything about Spider-Man? Okay, look, that is the 10,000-pound elephant in the room tomorrow. Are they going to mention Spider-Man? If they have reached a deal by tomorrow, then I would expect that they will mention Spider-Man. And that'll be a big thing. If they have not reached a deal, I don't think they're going to say a thing. And I think it's going to be real awkward, and it's going to be the 10,000-pound elephant in the room. But no, I don't expect, unless it's to come out and announce, unless they come out and announce that us and Sony have come to a deal, I really don't think they're going to say a thing. I do not think they're going to say a thing. Let's put it this way. I'll be damn impressed. Damn impressed if Alan Horn or Bob Iger come out to talk about the movies and actually do address the Spider-Man situation without a deal. If they do, I'll be impressed, but I don't think they will. I don't think they will. Here's hoping. Here's hoping. All right. Terry Giordano writes, with all these new shows we are excited to have, do you think we will have to worry about losing them quickly in a season or two, a la Doom Patrol and others? Maybe. I mean, look, I think Disney Plus, we shouldn't think of Disney Plus as a traditional TV series. I think we need to think of them in terms of, limited series. I think we need to look at them in terms of a limited series. I don't think we should look at them as, now we sit and after season 1 is done, now we sit and wait to see if season 2 gets picked up. I think we should look at all of them as a one-shot limited series. Disney Plus is not a traditional television network that launches a show in the hopes that it'll have season 2, season 3, and season 4. I think they look at these as mini movie events. 6-episode mini movie events. That's how I kind of see it. So, honestly, Terry, the way I'm looking at it, I am not expecting a WandaVision Season 2. I'm expecting WandaVision to be a standalone, limited series event, like Chernobyl. And they may do another season of Chernobyl, whatever. Remember, too, Big Little Lies was originally supposed to just be a limited series event, but it was so spectacularly successful they decided to do another one. But I am not expecting season 2s from any of them. They may do it, but I'm going into it not expecting any. So we just can't think of it in terms of traditional TV series. At least that's the way I'm looking at it right now. I think we need to just look at them and appreciate them for what they are. And if they do other ones, great. If not, they'll tell other stories. with other limited series. But again, I think the big thing we got to keep in mind here, we cannot think of Disney Plus in terms of a regular television network. These are limited events, and let's see where they go. And I think they're waiting to see where they go as well. Ryan Lohner writes, still hoping for a show about B. Arthur from the holiday special. It worked. Or Harvey Korman from the holiday special. Or that animated Boba Fett. Never, 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 never speak of that. Never speak of that. And it didn't work for Boba Fett. It did not work for Boba Fett. Suthius writes, very little we saw of this Mandalorian so far in the trailer, but already it looks like he's a way better warrior fighter than that Boba fella. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, that Boba fella was able to bring in Han Solo. I mean, he was tracking him down. We never got to see him in a lot of combat. We got to see his dad. Well, his clone dad. We got to see his dad go toe-to-toe with the Jedi. That was pretty cool. But it does look pretty sweet, man. I'm very excited about it. John Atwall writes, hyped. I really wish DC could promote like this. Well, I mean, I'll tell you what. They tried with their Disney streaming service. And I am grateful for the Disney streaming service because we got Doom Patrol. And I freaking love Doom Patrol. Not all that big on Titans. And I never bothered with Swamp Thing, even though I heard it's good. But, you know, why would I get invested in it when they canceled it after one episode? It was difficult. Look, you know me. I am a fan of the DCEU. I'm a fan of the Disney of the DC stuff. I even like Suicide Squad. I know it's a hot mess of a movie, but I had fun. Sue me. I like all their stuff. But when you are in a panel like that today and seeing how they promote and seeing how they hype and seeing their strategy and the type of content they put together, it's often not fair, but you do have to admit it's difficult not to loop it around and think about how Warner Brothers has not done this that well. You know, when you're seeing somebody do something great, it's hard not to think about those who are trying to do the same thing and not doing it nearly as well. But I think DC is on a good path right now. You know, Aquaman was an entertaining movie, made $1 billion. I thought Shazam was fantastic. We got Wonder Woman coming out, being directed by Patty Jenkins, and she's great. So I think DC's on a good path right now. And I think maybe, you know, Warner Brothers could be getting a glimpse of where they could take things. So, we'll see. Let's see. Mighty Tank 1 writes, Deadline reported Kit Harington is going to play a role in the MCU. That's why there's rumors he's playing Moon Knight. Here's the thing, though. I just don't know why you would have D23 and have this big announcement and not mention Kit Harington. That's the thing. Again, I'm not saying it's impossible that it couldn't be Kit Harington, but I don't know why you would run around and just assume it's Kit Harington and Moon Knight, because if that was true, I think they would have brought him out. Now watch, he gets brought out tomorrow for another thing, but that's just my thought. Let's see. Sam O writes, do you think Moon Knight will be TV-14 or TVMA? Or it ain't going to be TVMA if it's going to be on Disney+. It's going to be PG-13. I mean, whatever that equivalent is. But TVMA, I believe, is the mature thing. You're not going to get that on Disney+. You can just put that away right now. There's no way it's going to be that on Disney+. Let's see. Where are we at here? There we go. Okay. RTD Slayer writes, Phase 5 better have less Disney Plus announcements. Well, remember, today was all about Disney Plus. Tomorrow will be all about theatrical. Everything tomorrow is going to be about theatrical. And by the way, I'm predicting they're going to talk about 2022 and 2023, or what they will call Phase 5. Who cares about... But do you think Phase 4... The phases are meaningless, arbitrary numbers. They really are. Means nothing. I believe tomorrow they're going to talk... I do believe they're going to talk about 2022 and 2023. I think they're going to talk about Black Panther 2 and Doctor Strange 2 and Captain Marvel 2 and the next Avengers even. I don't know that for a fact, though. That's just me as a fan speculating. We'll have to wait. But don't worry, tomorrow is all about theatrical. Today was all about Disney+. Suthius writes, with all this Marvel and Star Wars, I could see Pixar produce shows as well for Disney+. That could further connect to the rest of the Pixar universe. I don't know. I mean, look, on the one hand, they're already doing it, right? On the one hand, we've already got, where did he go? There we go. We got Forky Ask a Question. I mean, so we already see them putting their, getting their foot in the door. We already see them getting their foot in the door for it. But I don't know. I don't know how heavy they'll get into that. Pixar's never about shared cinematic universes. They don't worry about that stuff, and I'm so grateful that they don't. But they're already getting their foot in the door with this Forky thing, so let's see where they go from that. Mr. Carroll City says, Deadline confirms Kit Harington to join the MCU, but we don't know as what. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. Maybe an announcement will be made tomorrow during the whole movie presentation stuff. That'll be a kick. Again, although if they do, that just confirms he's not playing Moon Knight, so we'll see what happens. Jetfire97 writes, hope for the best, prepare for the worst. Spidey tomorrow. I agree. I am going to go in tomorrow assuming we're not going to hear that they have fixed, and let's be clear about this, that they have fixed the problem that they created. I know nobody wants to admit that. I'm sitting here wearing a Disney Plus hat, and I know nobody wants to admit it. But folks, it's true. It's damn true. This is a problem that Disney created. This problem is Disney's fault. So I'm really hoping the Spider-Man problem, this is of Disney's doing. This is their responsibility and their fault. That said, really, I don't expect to hear that they've fixed their problem, but I'm hoping, I'll do the double, I'm crossing everything I've got. I'm hoping that they announce tomorrow, guys, we've decided to pull our mouse-shaped ears out of our asses and decided to make a deal. So I'm hoping that's what we hear. Everything crossed. I'm hoping that's what we hear. You're right. Hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. And at this point, I'm just expecting the worst. But ready to celebrate if they announce that they got a deal done with Sony here. All right, Jake C. writes, if anyone doesn't think John should take breaks / drink something, go and watch this man during the last couple of hours on the AMC 24-hour movie talk marathon. Yeah, that was funny because that AMC movie talk 24-hour marathon that we did for the typhoon relief, and we raised a lot of money for that. It was great. But I got more sick than I've ever been in my life. I've never been that sick. It was kind of crazy what that did to me. It kind of wrecked me a lot. But anyway, thank you for the support on that, Jake C. All right, Marie Seifring writes, it's interesting that they may be launching even more new characters such as Kate Bishop in the Hawkeye show, and they are doing Kate Bishop. How many characters are in Marvel Comics? Oh my God. If we want to go back over, the decades and decades and decades, I mean, we're literally talking thousands of characters. Not necessarily thousands and thousands and thousands of title characters, but as far as just pure characters go, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands. I mean, a lot of characters. So it is a huge catalog. There are many characters, title, supporting, and even C-list characters that they could potentially bring in. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Initial D's writes, I'm an hour late, just saying hi, John. Hello, Initial. Good to see you, sir. Suthius writes, how are your accommodations? Comfortable, I hope. No, I've got actually a really nice room. I love this room. I'll see if I can show you guys some of it here. So I'm in the corner. That's a window. I had to close it. So there's the bed back there. It's a pretty big room. That's a see-through glass window into the bathroom with a huge tub. Goes all the way. It's actually a pretty big room. It's a nice room. I'm happy. Nice accommodations. I mean, nobody got this for me. I'm paying for this myself. But yeah, so far so good. I like the room. The Wyndham Garden Anaheim. For those of you who are looking for a good hotel, I got to say I've been pretty happy with the hotel so far. Wyndham Garden Hotel. Anyway, Suthius writes, that was that. S-Beam writes, thank you for sharing what you did on Twitter. Oh, my pleasure. It was great. I was trying to, and I'll do the same tomorrow. So if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, just simply @John Campea. I will be tweeting furiously, as I did today, through the Marvel presentation tomorrow. And then we will come straight here and do a live stream to talk about all the damn stuff. Ian Nguyendu writes, Disney Plus in Australia 1 week after US. Good. I'm glad you don't have to wait like a year and a half like some people are saying they're going to have to. So you'll have to wait 1 extra week for Mandalorian. I'm sure you can hold out for 1 extra week. Okay. Ben Rayner writes, tomorrow it's only a day away. A little Orphan Annie in there thrown in there, Ben. Very good. Ryan H. Don EP writes, do you think the Disney Plus shows have a Phase 4 feel that will lengthen the phase? And do you think there is a secret year for movies? Do you think there is a secret year for the movies tomorrow? A secret year? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Again, though, Ryan, phases are forget what extending the phase. The phases are meaningless. They have no meaning whatsoever. There's absolutely no meaning to phases. It's just a convenient way to keep to keep the time frame organized in our heads, but it really means nothing. So don't worry or think about things of, well, how does this show affect the phases? The phases are meaningless. Absolutely arbitrary, completely meaninglessness, nothingness. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it at all. But I'm just trying to figure out what you mean by, if so, do you think there is a secret year for the movies tomorrow? I don't know what you mean by that. My apologies for that, Ryan. I'm just not wrapping my head around it right now. All right, Nathan Oswald writes, it seems very peculiar as to why Spider-Man news came out so close to D23. Conspiracy. Hey, news breaks when news breaks. I mean, is what it is. I don't know if it's conspiracy or not, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it's just a giant troll. Maybe it's just a big troll by Disney and Sony. And they're going to come out on a stage tomorrow together and go, we're making more Spider-Man movies. And maybe everybody will be happy. Who knows? Maybe they're just trolling us. Maybe. Carlos Sosa writes, I am so excited and happy about Obi-Wan. I know there's a lot of people. You could feel the disturbance in the Force, man. When Ewan McGregor came out on stage and everybody was just happy throughout the universe, brother. Chris Feldman writes, where'd Chris go? There he is. Chris Feldman writes, the She-Hulk show has me intrigued, both because I thought Universal owned the rights and because She-Hulk was a very key member of the female Avengers. See, no, Universal doesn't own rights. What Universal, not even to Hulk, what they have is distribution rights, right? Disney still has all the production rights to Hulk. They can make a Hulk movie tomorrow if they wanted to. However, if they make a Hulk movie, they just have to allow Universal to be the distributor of it. Now, like you, I just assumed that such a situation of distribution rights would extend to any auxiliary or spin-off characters of Hulk, which would include She-Hulk, right? Just a derivative character. I just assumed it would extend to She-Hulk. So apparently it doesn't. Apparently it doesn't. So I was a little bit surprised because of that as well, Chris. I really was. Gamer JDS writes, I really hope they put the Disney afternoon shows from the 90s on Disney Plus. I grew up on those shows. Well, one of the interesting things that I didn't tweet about and I didn't talk about earlier was they did have the head guy from the Disney Channel come out. And one of the things he said, although they weren't really specific, but one of the things he said was that a lot of the library of the Disney Channel is going to end up on Disney Plus. Now, I never watched the Disney Channel when I was younger. I've never watched the Disney Channel, so I can't speak to what it will and will not cover. But they did say that a lot of the catalog of the Disney Channel will be on Disney Plus. So hopefully that's what you're hoping for, and hopefully that works out for you. All right, Nathan Oswald writes, over under 10%, we get an X-Men versus Avengers movie within the next 10 years? Under. I'll go under. That just sounds too convoluted. Cinematic Galaxy writes, Super excited about She-Hulk. I'm actually a bigger fan of her than the original Hulk, and in the comics, she broke the fourth wall before Deadpool. I actually had a friend of mine who did an album, and one of the songs on the album was called She-Hulk Boy. There are fans out there, there's not a lot, but there are fans out there who are psychotically into She-Hulk. Like obsessively into She-Hulk. She-Hulk has a very strong following. So I'll tell you what, Cinematic Galaxy, I am not surprised at all to hear that you're more excited about a She-Hulk thing than about a Hulk thing, because I've known some people who are obsessively into She-Hulk. She doesn't have a huge following compared to a lot of other comic book characters, but the following she has is a passionate and loyal following. And I think you're going to see some people very excited about that. All right. Where are we at here? Ken McDowell writes, did you notice that Obi-Wan series takes place during the Solo timeline in the complete timeline? Might we see Darth Maul in the Obi-Wan series? That has a continuity problem. Obi-Wan, in the continuity, Darth Maul doesn't even know Obi-Wan is still alive. Right? What we learned in Rebels is that Darth Maul didn't even know that Obi-Wan was still alive. And the moment he finds out Obi-Wan is alive, he goes and finds him, they have a quick 2-minute fight, and Darth Maul dies. So, as far as canon goes, there's no room in canon for Darth Maul to be in it. Because according to canon, Darth Maul doesn't even know Obi-Wan's alive. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, no, I do not think we're going to see Darth Maul in the Obi-Wan series unless they break canon, which I don't think they're going to do. So we'll see. Otto000 writes, see the Star Wars hotel coming soon? Looks awesome. I didn't even know there was a Star Wars hotel. There's a Star Wars hotel? You know I'm going to have to stay there. But I'm going to have to obsessively look for images of that online, Otto, as soon as I'm done. Keithon Toothman writes, what time should I be up to catch you tomorrow? You know what? I can't even remember what time the thing is tomorrow. Let me look on here. Hold on a second. D23, I'm going to search through my email here. D23, where's my confirmation? Okay. Where does it say? Are confirmed to attend the D23 Expo Walt Disney presentation with reserved seating Saturday, August 24th. Okay, so the presentation's at 10 a.m., so I got to be there around 8 or 8:30. It's at 10 a.m. I'm going to guess like today it's going to go about 2 hours. So I'm going to guess that I will probably do my live stream at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. So that's what I'm going to guess right here. That tomorrow's live stream to break down the Walt Disney Studios presentation, which is Lucasfilm, Marvel, Pixar, Disney itself, the movie theatrical presentation is at 10 a.m. So I'm going to go on a limb and guess that I'm going to do my live stream then at 1 p.m. That gives me 2 hours for the panel, 2 hours for the presentation, I mean. Then it gives me about 15, 20 minutes to walk back here, get everything set up, blah, 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 blah. So I'm going to say 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time tomorrow. And for those of you wondering what that means, it's almost 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right now. So that's what I'm going to do it. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let's see. Mr. J86 writes, any word on when it's coming to Ireland? I have no idea. Well, didn't they just say that it's going to launch in Ireland on day and date, November 12th? I thought they said Ireland was going to launch the first day too. I double checked that, but I think maybe Ireland might be the first week it opens. Steve Foley writes, apologies if this was already mentioned, but very excited about Ming-Na Wen joining the cast of The Mandalorian. I have not heard that. I don't think they said that. Did they say that today? I like Ming-Na Wen. Like, I don't like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at all, but I love Clark Gregg, and I love Ming-Na Wen. So if that's the case, that is exciting. That is exciting, Stephen. So thank you for bringing that up, sir. All right, just a couple more questions here to go, and then we're all wrapped up here. Initial D's writes, to clarify a question you didn't understand earlier about Spider-Man rerun, I think he meant, does the Disney-Sony breakup affect the re-release of Far From Home? No, because that's Sony's movie. Sony can do whatever they want with that movie. So whatever disputes or whatever are going on between now and then, that's a movie that's done and completed and was done under the deal. So even if the deal is over now, it has no effect on anything related to Spider-Man Far From Home. It's Sony's movie. They can do whatever they want with it. So no, it doesn't affect that. Thank you, Initial, for clarifying, because I didn't know what they meant by that. So if you're right, then that's the best way I know how to answer it. Let's see here. Terry Giordano writes, any news on Avengers Campus theme park? None. Again, today was all about Disney+. That's all today was about, was Disney+. So there was no mention about any of that, no updates on that yet. Mr. J86 writes, as much as I love Maul's arc in Rebels, it'd be cool with them retconning it and just saying, oh, it's from a certain point of view. Well, no, see, that's the thing that bugs me, though. Canon is canon. It either is canon or it isn't canon, you know? And I just, you can't, don't play fast and loose with canon. If you're saying that Rebels is canon, then damn it, it's canon. Don't do this certain point of view thing. It's canon, it's done. It's set in stone. And that's why it kind of bothers me when you know, Star Wars and Disney says everything in Star Wars now, including comics and the books and the TV shows, and it's all canon. And then they go, well, I guess that one isn't really canon. Canon is like being pregnant. You're either pregnant or you're not. There's no such thing as sort of being pregnant. And so, yeah, no, I don't think they can, and I don't think they should, because I think canon should mean something. And if you say something is canon, then be committed to that. That's my thought at any rate. All right, A3 writes, always knew those Star Wars doors were dangerous, and now The Mandalorian has shown me why. Slick move with the blaster in the door while that poured. That was a great moment. But notice that they didn't show it all the way through. They didn't show it all the way through, but that was pretty cool. For those of you who don't know and haven't seen the trailer yet, The Mandalorian, some guy's trying to escape, and it's one of these doors that closes into the middle, and he shoots the controller, and it closes on the guy as he's halfway through, so clearly he's going to get cut in half. That was a really, really slick moment. Really, really slick moment. And again, just to emphasize the production value, the production value of it is great. So not only did it show us the feel of it and the tone of it, which is everything A3 that I wanted it to be. You know, that old Western gritty Ronin samurai wandering the countryside feel, but also the production value was there. And that one little shot of the slick move of him going through showed us that, first of all, the Mandalorian's going to be very resourceful, very clever, but also something about the production level of it as well, right? And that was exciting. That was exciting to me. All right. Last question today, and then we're going to wrap up this thing. I thought this was going to be about a half hour. It actually ended up being like an hour and a half. We're going to wrap this up until tomorrow, guys. Last one from Curtis Lopez, who writes, how's Marvel able to do She-Hulk with the Universal issue? Again, I am surprised. I am surprised. I really thought that with the whole thing about the distribution rights for Hulk, I thought that went on to also include any derivative characters, like any derivative characters they may have had regarding that. So that's what I assumed. But apparently, it looks like that's not the case. It looks very much so like that's not the case. So I honestly don't know. The only thing I can assume is that they made it clear in their deal that whatever the Universal deal is for Hulk, it does not include the Hulk's auxiliary characters. That's the only thing I can figure out, is that it must not include any auxiliary characters to the main character Hulk. And if that's the case, then that's how they can do She-Hulk. Now look, I'm actually not a huge fan in general of derivative characters anyway. You know, so I would have been interested in a Hulk, not a She-Hulk, but they've done this, and that's okay, and that's fine. So the only thing, again, I can assume is that within the contracts, it's not like Sony owning the rights to Spider-Man, which includes all the Spider-Man catalog. Universal doesn't have the rights to Hulk. They just have distribution rights. And the only thing I can guess at this point is that creates a really big difference between having that character, but it not applying to his supporting character catalog, right? Again, I don't know that for sure. It's just the only thing I can guess at that moment, and that's part of the reason why all of us, including me, was so surprised when they announced it. But anyway, there you go. All right, guys, it is now 8 p.m. here in Anaheim, California. I think I haven't eaten yet today. I did my show. I woke up a little bit late, so I didn't have time for breakfast. I did the John Campea Show. As soon as the John Campea Show was done, I immediately packed, got all my stuff together, got my gear together, got in the car, made the drive to Anaheim. I was running late, immediately just checked into the hotel, immediately ran over to the convention center, ran around for an hour and a half trying to figure out where I was supposed to be, came right back here, immediately started the show, and here it is now, 8 p.m., and I still haven't had a morsel of food today. So, what I think I'm going to do now, with your permission, is I think I might walk over to Disneyland. Disneyland's right up the street. I might just walk over to Disneyland and go to one of my favorite restaurants there or eat something, because damn it, I'm hungry. Anyway, guys, what a day. What a day with this D+ presentation. It started off slow. I was even regretting that I came in the first place. And then it turned around and became a lot of fun, a lot of very interesting things. And Disney+ looks like it's going to be something to get. I'm not thrilled with everything I saw from it, to be honest with you. I could care less about this High School Musical thing. Obviously, I don't care about Lizzie McGuire. I'm not big on Lady and the Tramp, but they showed some things that I am very shockingly excited about. Had no idea about Moon Knight and Ms. Marvel and She-Hulk, and this Jeff Goldblum show looks really good, and suddenly this Noel movie looks pretty good. They surprised me, and of course, Obi-Wan. Absolutely Obi-Wan. A lot of good stuff, guys. Okay, so tomorrow, Disney's studio presentation is tomorrow with all the movie stuff. That's happening at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we're going to be back here again tomorrow doing a live stream to catch you guys up to date with and to break down and talk about all things coming from that thing tomorrow. And don't forget, guys, I will, from that panel, be tweeting out images and everything I find and everything I see. And everything that they're announcing. I'll be live tweeting that, so you can just follow me on Twitter, just at John Campea. Follow me there. I'll be tweeting furiously throughout it, and then I'll come right back here, and hopefully I'll have Chris Carr with me. So me and Chris Carr will break it all down and talk about all the exciting stuff we're going to hear tomorrow. All right, guys, I'm going to go eat. Thank you for hanging out with me here. Thank you guys for sending in all the questions. Thank you guys for being here, being a part of it. Thank you for putting up with the fact that I'm not in a studio and I'm just in a hotel room here. Thankfully, the internet gods have smiled on us and we've had good internet service. Thanks again, guys. My name is John, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.